Howdy, Desert Boy here, and today I'm going to talk about Smith and Wesson. I did my video on the ABCs, and we talked about J, K, and L frames, and N frames, and all that. Of course, there's X frames, the large ones. But today we've got this 686. This happens to be a 686-6. It's a 686 plus, and so it has, as I'll show you here in a minute. This particular one has 7 rounds. That's why it's called a 686 plus. Standard 686s had 6 rounds originally. So we can see it's got a nice full-length ejector rod that makes it nice to get the shells out, and they do come out nicely. It's got a underlug here with the ejector rod is shrouded. You've got the trigger is a nice trigger. It doesn't have any grooves in it, but I don't have any issues with that. It works fine. Got this nice textured hammer right up here. Got a full rubber around the back strap for those Magnum loads. On top, it's got adjustable sights on the rear and fixed red ramp on the front. If you were to look at it, it looks about like that. There's a little white outline on the back part around it. On top, it's got these grooves to help with glare, and this one's darker. Kind of helps with suppressing some glare there when you're shooting. Very smooth shooter. We've shown you that it's empty. If I was to do a double action pull, breaks very crisply. Takes a little bit to it, and if you do a single action, very light. So I don't know, I'd put the other one, I don't have a Lyman trigger gauge still, but I'd put it at about 8.5 to 10 pounds, maybe not like the 12-pound ones of some of them, and maybe just a couple of pounds maybe on the single action. But really nice size gun. I got the 3-inch, so I could be, and you got to check with your own local, state, and federal firearms laws, what your concealed carry stuff is, hunting regulations and all that. So this gun's good, can be carried. It's with the shorter barrel, makes it a little easier to carry it. If you wanted to carry concealed, if you're allowed to, according to what your rules are. Also hunting, some places don't allow handgun hunting, or they require at least a 4-inch barrel. So that's why a lot of people like to have a 4-inch one too, because it also adds to accuracy. But this 3-inch is plenty accurate. I got this because I had a 2.5-inch, which is my all-time favorite video. A lot of people seem to like, called Another Snubby, and it's got the Performance Center 2.5-inch barrel, 686 plus. It's got the 7 rounds. It's got the flat, designed barrel on there. It's got the beautiful wood grips, specially tuned trigger, and it's got nice grooves there, and the hammer's specially done and everything. But it was just a little, for me, not quite as balanced. It was a little heavy on the rear part, and I've got it in a holster. I don't want it to try to work its way out. Maybe I need a more tighter holster, more secure holster, but this one's fine. I don't have any issues with it. I probably someday will get a 4-inch 357. Might be a GP100. I might get a Ruger instead, but I would like to have another 357 with a 4 to 6-inch barrel on it, just in case it was to go hunting or something. But this is fine. The nice thing about this is kind of a staple. It's good for home defense. It's good for personal defense. With this configuration, it's good for being in the woods. Protection. So when I rode up here on my Harley trike, this is what I was carrying, because I was going across miles and miles in northern Nevada and eastern Nevada desert, and a lot of areas that were pretty isolated. For me, I also had my Ruger 357 with me, my LCR, but that was my choice, and it was comfortable for that. That's what I did for me. So I'm sharing my humble thoughts and opinions. Remember, this is just my thoughts. You got to talk to your own experts, find out what works for you. If you can, go places where you have gun rentals, maybe where you can shoot guns that you're interested in. That's a good way to do it as well. And then talk to all your own experts, gun stores and stuff. Anyway, good gun. Very essential. It's like having a 12 gauge or having maybe a Glock 19 for some people. For other people, they also want to make sure they had a Ruger 1022, stuff like that. So this is a Crossbreed holster. When you carry it in here, it's in here very securely. When it's sitting in the holster, it has a slight forward cant, which I happen to prefer. It's an outside the waistband. It also has a cross draw carry position. This is a hunter holster. It's a leather holster. It's a basic strong side carry holster with a strap to secure it. Right? Just fits like that. Also happens to somehow work for my K-frame with the 4-inch barrel on it, so kind of like that. I also have a Galco vertical holster system, and with that system, I'm currently using it with all my 2-inch snubbies as a shoulder holster carry. But this is a component that you can change over to, and I may just buy a whole new set of components so I can start carrying this for the winter in here. So just to show you some options for different things, and of course when you do different carries, there's different things you have to be aware of with that. I do have a friction holster, but these guns are just very heavy, and I don't use it for that, and I wouldn't recommend that. I have speed loader cases for reloading it. I have HKS 587 speed loaders. So there's 7 rounds, right? I also sometimes carry this Barsoni one, like when I was at the range, because I can carry it the way I reload. I carry it on the side of my strong side, and I can reach down there and get it. It's just this one just clips on. It's just a very basic one that I found to be serviceable. So that's some things about the 686 Plus. Very handy gun. You got 7 rounds instead of 6. It's very capable of shooting the 357 Magnums. These come in at more than a $900 price range, probably. I think Smith lists them for $1,009. I can't remember if I talked about all the specs. I think I did, but if I didn't, this is about 36.6 ounces. It's 1.55 inches wide. It's 8.25 inches long, 6 inches high. And once again, it's a single action, double action. Now, the 357 Magnum series is about as close as I can get to this particular model. It has wood grips instead, so it might be a slight weight difference or this overall length or something, but pretty close in weight and everything. So, with all that said, I did shoot some at the range, and I'll stick a little range footage on the end of this. And I hope you find that interesting and maybe helpful. I just kind of wanted to revisit this because I just love shooting a good 357 Magnum. I love my 45 Colt, my favorite caliber really. But this to me, just like for some people the 9, this is the most versatile caliber. 38 Special, 38 Plus P, Special Plus P, 357 Magnum can all be shot from this gun. And it can fulfill a variety of roles. So that's why I like it so much. And it's kind of what after a K22, I had a 357 Magnum 4-inch, and that was, what I really preferred. So anyway, as Desert Boy always says, be safe out there, whatever you're doing. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye now. Stop. Get back. Get back. Get back. Stop. Get back. Get back. Get back.